Adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm very excited because I have a return guest from one of my favorite bands, and we have some very exciting news to share. So let's welcome Diamond from TETRARCH. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. How have you been?
I've been great. I just got done being on tour of festivals since like April.
Nice. That is the best thing to be on. So,
right?
I'm jealous, honestly.
Yeah. Now, I thank God I have interviews remotely today, or else I wouldn't know what to do. You know how that is. You know, you get off of doing that, and it's like you get home and you think, I get home and I can relax, and then you're like, what do I do?
Exactly. But hey, I feel like you would figure it out. So
yeah, there you go.
I'm glad you get some time at home.
There it is. So Jackson Guitars. Wow. That's super exciting. And there you are right behind me.
That's me.
So tell us how this happened. First of all, how did you connect with Jackson Guitars?
Yeah, so my story and journey with Jackson is probably different than a lot of people who have played Jackson since they were kids, and just, mine started basically, I play EVH amps, and my rep at EVH is also my rep at Jackson. So for some years, he had just been wanting me to try Jacksons. I was very happy with where I was. So, there was no urgency for me to do so. But, he would periodically just ask me hey, do you want to check out some Jacksons? Can I send you some to play? Blah, blah, blah. And so, like I said, I didn't have a big sense of urgency about it, but they came to me a couple years ago with an idea that they had, and it was something really cool, and which ended up being the signature, but it aligned very much with, something that I've always wanted as a player. And, it started by them just sending me first a bunch of guitars, Jackson signature, non-signatures, Fenders to just try out and kind of get used to. And after that, they built me one that I wanted with all of my specs, which ended up being the prototype, but I loved it. It felt perfect. I ended up recording all the new songs with it, so it passed the studio test. And yeah, I knew that was the home for me, after just really taking the time to sit with them and talk to them about their plans and ideas. For me, just really aligned with my goals. And so here we are.
So me, as somebody who tried to play guitar and really sucked, what I always wonder is, for somebody like me, it's guitar is a guitar is a guitar. And no, I don't really think that, but it's kind of how you think. It's well, what would be the difference? And why is it they keep switching guitars for different songs and stuff like that? And I'm really kind of playing devil's advocate for the listeners that, are thinking that right now. So what is it for an artist like you, who is a badass guitarist, that can tell the difference between one guitar to the next, and what makes this guitar now to be the one that's perfect for you?
I honestly think for every player, it's completely different. It's not you could talk to me and then you can go talk to Billy Joe from Green Day and then talk to James Hetfield, and we all might have the same preferences, but we might have completely different ones. For me, I know I need a guitar that's like a workhorse, you know? And I feel I've always had that, but a guitar that's a workhorse that like I can take on the road and I don't have issues with it all the time. You know, I do have a tech luckily, so sorry, there's a trash truck outside, but I do have I do have a tech luckily, so he handles most any issues that I have, but I need a guitar that's reliable in all settings, whether I'm in the studio or I'm on the road. It just alleviates a lot of a headache, you know, for me. And just something that's very comfortable for me. And comfort, again, is something that's just so relative to the player. So it's really
Totally.
like, you know what I mean? It's really based player by player. You can ask one player and it's something completely different. For me, it's just workhorse. It has to be good quality workhorse guitar. And it just has to be very comfortable for me to play and have the specs that I love. And other than that, I'm not super picky. So
Yeah, you know, it's funny because when you say comfort, that hits home for me because I look at somebody like Tom Morello.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the hell is he even comfortable holding his guitar like that? You know, it's like,
it's how he
I'm
learned
like,
to
if I
play
were
and
doing that,
just-
that would not be comfortable. I'd want it like down low. I don't want my arms up like this. I want it
And
down
that's how
low
I
where
am.
I would be able to strum it easily to me.
yeah.
You know, so it's like, I feel that so much. It's like, and everybody's body is different too. So, you know, what might be comfortable for you may not be comfortable for me, or, you know, like you mentioned, Hetfield, he's a pretty tall dude, you know, so it's like that would be even a difference, you know, for
Yeah.
me, I'm not a tall dude, so that might not work for me. And I
Yeah.
always think of like Morello, I'm thinking, well, maybe his guitar's that high is because he's a little taller, so he needs, but that's not
Well,
really the case. It's just what you're comfortable with.
yeah, because I like, and especially even when I started, I used to play my guitars like down to my knees, you know, and now it's come up a little bit since then, but I still play it pretty low. And when I see guys with it like up at their chest, I'm like, oh God, I just couldn't. I feel like I can't rock out and look cool with it up that high. But
Right.
those guys are probably like, she probably can't play tight enough with it down that low. So like we all, you know, we all just give or take some. You might look a little way cooler, but maybe you're not as like technically sound. You know, who knows? I don't
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
it just depends.
No doubt. And so basically, would you say this new guitar is just basically all 100% you?
Absolutely. I say that a lot. Like some guitar players, when they make a signature, if they get the opportunity, it's like they make this guitar that has all this stuff that they've just always wanted to try. For me, I just knew if it had my name on it, it needed to be a guitar that was just 100% me, what I've been playing, what I tour with, what I track with in the studio, and what's comfortable for me, so that anyone who picks it up, they know they're getting what I love and, you know, what I prefer to play. And that's what I did with this guitar. Like everything from the pickups to the shape of the neck to the weight of the guitar. It's heavy compared to a lot of guitars, but I wanted it to be heavy. I like heavy guitars. So everything like that is just very, very diamond. And that was the goal.
Nice. And so what does it feel like to become the first female Jackson signature guitar artist and first African-American female signature artist in heavy music?
I mean, super cool, you know, like it all happened by me just being diamond and being driven by passion of loving heavy music and loving guitar since I was so young, since I was 11 years old. It wasn't something that, you know, like you'll see a couple of people get mad online. There's always trolls, but they'll get mad and be like, this is woke or something like that. And I'm like, I literally have just been playing guitar since I was 11. I love Korn and Slipknot and Metallica, and I just wanted to be like those guys. And so here we are today, and it's really cool to have accomplished that by just doing what I love, you know, and now I feel like I can inspire other people to like not worry about all the extra stuff. Just do what you love, and like people will pay attention at some point. So it's just very cool. It's a really,
and there's always going to be haters, especially in social media. So the best advice I could give anybody is disregard those comments, because most of those people are just doing it just to do it. It's not even their opinion, you know.
No,
Like,
it's really funny too. I say it to people a lot. Like a lot of these guys, like if you show that, like I think they feel like, no, they're not even reading this. But if you like comment back and you're like, yo, dude, like I hate you feel that way, but appreciate you taking the time to check it out. They usually write back and they're like, oh no, I was just messing around. Like I didn't, usually they like backtrack.
yeah.
Some, stick to their guns, but most of them end up backtracking, and that just lets you know they're just doing it just for attention. They're bored in their parents' basement. I don't really know, but
it kind of reminds me of, being a kid, and my brother used to tease me, and I'd go right to my mother, and she's like, just ignore him and he won't want to do it.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and then I also want to talk about real quick too, that you released your first new single in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's way cool.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that song.
Yeah. So it's called Live Not Fantasize. We've been in the studio for about a year. So it feels good to finally get the single out, but it's really cool. I feel like it is 100% TETRARCH, but there were some cool things we did in it. Like we pushed some of the industrial elements in it, which was really cool and fun. And just the guitar solo in it, I loved. I had a really fun time writing. And it actually started off honestly as a joke song. Like we wrote that song and it was a joke. It didn't have any electronics on it or anything. I just I had a bare riff with some drums, and the joke was, I was like, wow, this is like super dad. There was because we had nothing else on it. But for some reason it kept making the cut as we were cutting down songs. Like it just kept finding its way in the new batch, and it ended up being a lead single, which is so funny, but how things work. But yeah,
it's always the one you don't expect, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so tell everybody how they can check out the new single, check you guys out, and also check out the new signature guitar.
Yeah, so the single, you can find the music video on YouTube. It's on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, whatever you got. So yeah, pretty easy to find. And guitar, it's pretty crazy. You can Guitar Center, Sweetwater, Reverb, Jackson.com, JacksonGuitars.com. You can find it there. So yeah, it's pretty easily accessible.
Very cool. Well, this is all very exciting, and I can't wait to see you out there with it personally. Me personally.
Same. I hope you should be seeing us very soon personally, and I will have it.
All right. I love it. Thanks for all the great music you give us, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Thank you for having me, as always. I appreciate it.
You got it.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.